Good morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are. You're now here at Ricochet Community Call number 3. Welcome. We have some really cool stuff to talk about today, so let's get into it. So first, Mike's going to walk us through the progress he's been making on basically creating stream markets that let you invest in real time into Sushi LP positions. It's absolutely never been done before. Super novel stuff. Looking forward to hearing him talk about that. We're then going to talk about new stream markets we have coming up. So MATIC and Maker, and just the status on those. Mike's going to give us an update there. They're coming very soon. And then we're going to be talking about the work that's been done so far with Polygon and MakerDAO, the support we've been getting from them, and just what's been going on there, and then just some future collaborations that we're targeting. And then we're going to expose just the wireframes for the new UI we're planning on playing up soon. We've already contracted out with people from Upwork, and we're just going to give you guys a sneak peek there. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mike to talk about real-time investing in Sushi LP positions.
Yeah, so the idea here was with this real-time investing focus, one of the big things people invest in are liquidity pool positions, and liquidity pool positions are just ERC20 tokens. The only thing about these liquidity pool positions is the primary reason people are investing in them is because they yield not just the fees from traders, which all LP positions do, but there's typically rewards to be had if you stake them somewhere. So Sushi Swap is probably one of the most famous for its yield farming of these liquidity pool positions. And right now on Polygon, Sushi LP positions actually represent really good investments. And I'm particularly talking about the stablecoin pairings, stablecoin ETH pairings, stablecoin wrap Bitcoin, stablecoin MATIC. But even some of the higher risk ones definitely yield. But I think, for our use case, most people I think are stream investing for kind of a long term. So I think starting with some of these like stablecoin ETH pairs is where we want to be. And the yields on those can be, 15 to 30%. And the yield is derived from fees from traders, Sushi subsidies, and MATIC subsidies. So, you're talking about like an ETH, I think it's DAI ETH. The DAI ETH pool, or maybe it's the DAI US, or it's the USDC ETH pool. Anyway, one of the stable coins is about 30%. And it's kind of, I think, about a third split between fees from traders, Sushi rewards, and MATIC rewards as far as how you get your yield. So anyway, yeah, Sonny, go to the next slide. Let me just show the diagram because it's kind of cool what we can do with these liquidity pools. So it's going to be a whole class of tokens, right? Ricochet liquidity pool tokens, or you call them Ricochet tokens, I think is good. But these tokens will have baked into them a way of harvesting the rewards and redistributing them to the other side. Isn't an LP on Ricochet a way you are DCAing both sides? Yeah, if you're DCAing both sides, you're just looping your funds. So it wouldn't be liquidity pool. There's no liquidity pool currently in Ricochet. It just for tokens, right? And so there won't be a liquidity pool in Ricochet because it's not like you can come and do like a swap. You do a streaming and we bundle and swap for you. But the way that this works, these super tokens work is we can create a super token that has the typical upgrade and downgrade functionality. But what we can do is instead of just doing the upgrade, what we can do is when we upgrade, we can deposit the tokens into Mini Chef, which is Sushi Swap's contract that does the yielding. And what we can do is every period we can go ahead and we can harvest the subsidies from depositing those SLP tokens. This is the MATIC and the Sushi. And then we can upgrade the MATIC and the Sushi into super tokens. And then what we can do is when people do the downgrade, what we can do is we can trigger a distribution of all of the subsidies. So the Sushi and the MATIC. So first of all, you don't need to DCA into an LP position. You can just bulk buy. So the only reason you would want to dollar cost average into an LP position is because LP assets are very stable and they produce a yield. So if you're dollar cost averaging into ETH, and ETH has a bear market for a year and a half, then you're basically losing money every day, but you would lose less money if you dollar cost averaged into ETH stablecoin LP pool, right? In fact, you might still even be making money in a bear market in an ETH stablecoin pool, whereas every other asset you would be investing in that is not an LP position and does not bear any yield doesn't work. So this also works for streaming into other classes of tokens. So the liquidity pool tokens are, I think, the easiest of all the tokens because they just have this mechanism where you just, as you see, you deposit the LP tokens in one step, and then you can just periodically harvest the rewards. But we could do this with Aave interest-bearing tokens where there are some extra steps. And really what happens after the deposit, like what happens after the upgrade with the underlying tokens could change. And we could probably create our own, yield farming token. But I think what's best is to leave the yield farming tokens up to other projects. So there's projects like Idle, there's projects like Curve. They all have interest-bearing tokens. They're not all liquidity pool tokens, but some of them are they earn interest or they earn fees and they earn subsidies and rewards, just like LP tokens. So yeah, so that's it. Yeah, why would you DCA into and this is just showing how that then ends up coming back. And another thing to note in all of this is like the super tokens, is just the idea of creating these liquidity pool tokens and having the fee harvesting is the other thing is the DAO will collect a fee from the fee harvesting. So I don't know if you want to actually go back one slide, you can see the fee in the last step during the downgrade. In the last step during the downgrade, when we distribute, you get your SLP tokens back. There's no fee taken from your SLP tokens. If you put one LP token in, you're going to get one LP token back out when you downgrade, right? But you'll also, when you do the downgrade, you're also going to get some of the Sushi and MATIC rewards, but the Ricochet DAO is actually going to take 20% of those fees. So it's in order to do this, where you can stream right into a yield bearing instrument, regardless of if it's an LP position or it's an interest bearing token, like a token or a compound token, we're always going to take an 80-20 fee structure. It just seems fair. Celsius does it. Other projects do it. The other projects are taking those fees by way of, there's like a strategist that takes the fee, another project. So, and also, again, just going back to, we have vulnerabilities and stuff. We're going to take a high fee here because we want to make sure that we have enough coming in to sustain development and to, self-insure against any kind of breaches or vulnerabilities we might have. So that's it. I guess that's the last thing.
Right.
Yeah, nothing to say there. That's just another diagram.
All right, Mike, you want to give us an update on the upcoming MATIC and Maker markets?
Yeah, so we voted last week on how much of the RIC tokens to put into these contracts. And the way the vote was handled was basically on a scale of 0% or 1% of the supply. We decided we'd allocate, and I personally voted on the 0.5% option, so that this season of RIC distribution that we're about to run, basically I was like, well, we'll get no more than 2% of the supply out there. If each project gets the max vote of, overall we'll get about, that's why I voted 0.5%. I said overall we'll do 1% distribution. But I was glad to see other people voted, to kind of raise it. So it looks like altogether we're going to distribute a little over, what is that, 1.2, 1.3% of the supply. So, and the way that it'll be split is we'll put the way that this works out is it's 78,000 tokens, I believe. I have to run the numbers again, but I think that's the way it works out. 78,000 tokens into MATIC and then 53,000 tokens into Maker. And we'll just do it over a 1-week distribution kind of as the initial launch, and then we'll go on and vote on other assets to add from there. So. Yep. And hopefully we'll be adding the things we'll add after this will be more interest-bearing products, interest-bearing investments. So, but of course, whatever people would like to add, we can run a proposal for it. Worst case scenario is everyone votes to put like 100 RIC in it, like a very small amount of RIC tokens. But I imagine anyone who proposes we create a new market for a project that's legitimate, we would definitely subsidize it. At this point, I mean, the only hang up for adding new markets right now is like the painfulness in updating our user interface to support it. But like what we're going to do is we built this interface, we made it so that it was friendly, and we knew that we would just add like copy and pasted markets and the page would just get really big. That's just what's going to happen. And people will still be able to, it'll still be usable. It won't be the best experience because you'll have to kind of scroll through this massive catalog of stuff. But like Sonny said, we are getting a contractor to fix, well, not the UI, I don't think needs fixing. We're going to improve the user interface so things are a little bit more compact and easier to navigate. And we're also going to, what was the other thing we're doing? Add more markets. So no, that's all we're going to do is let them do it. So, oh, right. The other thing we're going to do is add an easy way to list new tokens. Because right now it involves a lot of cutting and pasting from across the project, but we'd like that all in a single config file. So when we deploy new markets, we're just updating this config file, and then the new markets will show up in the app. So, so those are the two things that we have working on adding new markets. Slowly but surely we'll get new markets added today. MATIC is a little difficult because it has the native token in the mix. So I've been able to get Maker working, and I have Die Maker. And now just testing MATIC and just making sure in simulations against mainnet, it's going to actually do what we want it to do. So,
yeah. And as for like the DAO voting, just going to pull up really quick what the snapshot looked like. So we do have the snapshot page. We did have the proposals for the MATIC and the Maker reward rates. Voting ended 2 days ago. Let's see the results. So this was a proposal. We did, basically put the proposal up for the 4 stablecoin pairings, and then basically what we kind of like chose for this proposal was to make the vote, to make the reward rate basically like the percent of RIC supply to be allocated to these markets from 0 to 1, and then get like the weighted average of people's selections. So as you can see, we came out to a lot of 0.5s and 0.75, and so as you saw in the slide, the rate was like the weighted average of these numbers. People voted to add more to the MATIC market, as you can see here. Nice. So we took the weighted average there. So
nice. Cool, some whale 6.1 Ethereum 4. Who is that? D964. Is that you? Is that you? No.
Some Ricochet whale looks like they're moving some of our proposals around. Good stuff.
That wasn't
so, yeah. What's cool is like
0x8C3. That's me. The 1K vote there.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like we got 15 different people, voting. So we're really happy about the voter turnout and participation in the DAO. Really points to the utility of our token and working out governance. So good stuff so far. Yeah. All right. So what is happening between us, Polygon, and MakerDAO? So Polygon, Mike was able to get in touch with their team. They, we got in touch with them on Telegram, and we basically, were able to set up a little marketing campaign, which you may have seen over the last few days. We were able to get a shout out from them on their ecosystem growth Twitter, and a lot of buzz has been generated as a result. It's really good stuff, and they also made a lot of resources accessible to us on the development side as well. We will also be having a blog post out on their Medium soon, which is also pretty neat. Just promoting just the overall novelty of the Ricochet product and all the other cool stuff that we can build with it. As for MakerDAO, what's really cool about Maker is, well, first off, Mike and I are big believers in the product. We're big believers in DAI and the Maker lending protocol. What MakerDAO has recently done is allow some of their team members, or I'm not sure how many of them, but to get their salaries streamed through Superfluid. So basically they're receiving their payment, they're receiving their salaries in real time through a Superfluid stream. So it's coming in by the second, which is really cool. And so to empower these people, Ricochet is here to basically let them carve out a portion of their salary and like stream it into a stream market. And so it's almost as if they're converting that part of their salary into a different token, which is, super powerful. It basically, puts a lot of passive investing power into the hands of these people with their real-time salaries. And so seeing that, we reached out to them. We said, hey, we'd love to kind of give your team some exposure to Ricochet and what they can do with it. And so we will be speaking with them later in October, just presenting in front of them just Ricochet Exchange and this power in real-time investing. So good stuff there. We're happy with all the support they've been giving us. And I think just one thing to note is just like the overall superfluid ecosystem. As more people are using real-time finance rails, the more kind of funds are in the system, the more kind of the all boats kind of like rise, the bigger the superfluid ecosystem grows. And it's really starting to pick up. And so we're looking forward to being a leader in this real-time investing space as the whole superfluid ecosystem grows. So that's that with MakerDAO. Really awesome stuff. We're just so happy to be in touch with the protocol that we work that we like really believe in. As for our potential collabs, I think Mike has a few in mind. I'm just going to talk about one that I noticed that we're kind of that we kind of have next up. StakeDAO, they do pay their team members and superfluid salaries as well. So we're hoping to get in touch with them and perhaps have a similar kind of deal with MakerDAO. And yeah, just overall, I think organizations that pay their team members with real-time salaries is just a perfect opportunity for us to expand our connections and everything. And yeah, one thing to note is like how we load our stream markets with Rick rewards. You can also load the stream markets with rewards from different tokens. To say say we do a collaboration with some project to allow people to real-time invest in their token. That project could give us an allocation of that token, and they can load that in as rewards, as a reward rate for people, dollar cost averaging, streaming into those stream markets. So really cool stuff there. It's a really interesting avenue for collaboration, that kind of custom token reward aspect to it. Mike, I think you were talking about maybe a collab with Idle Finance.
Yeah, I talked to Fran about it. He and I have been trying to meet. I was at MCon, so I wasn't available Friday to talk more, but we chatted about it on Discord. And yeah, I mean they're the perfect kind of project because they create an interest-bearing token and they subsidize. They do idle subsidies. That's like the main description behind these like Ricochet tokens. And yeah, I mean I think this is an interesting. We weren't really going out there like I don't think either of us really thought how quickly people would switch to salary streams. It really hit us, I think, when I think it was Delphi Digital, and I don't know if they did it with everyone or if it was a voluntary thing, but we did have a guy. There were some people from Delphi Digital getting streams in US dollar coin, and so we switched the markets to US dollar coin in order to make it easier for those people. And also just thinking that US dollar coin is probably what most people are going to use. But obviously, the MakerDAO is not going to use US dollar coin. They're obviously going to use DAI. When we learned that MakerDAO was going to start doing it via MakerDAO Growth, who's the name of the person that escapes me, but MakerDAO Growth has been really a big participant in all these like social media things, and also just chatting with us. I think Joel Salvador more, but like the main thing is now we're focused on okay, everyone, let's just fast forward 3 years and everyone's getting paid salary streams, and what are they going to do with it? But we know exactly what they're going to do with it. They're going to pay their rent, they're going to pay their insurance bill, they're going to put money in savings, put money in investments, and buy food and stuff like that. And so if we can do the investments piece with real-time investing into these tokens, we'll also be able to do every other sort of thing that's sort of real-time related. So one thing that I did is I actually updated our docs, and in the docs, what I put under our mission was not only to do this real-time investing thing and make it easy, but also just to help companies get onboarded into streaming payments to their employees, right? Because Superfluid is a team and they can help onboard people, but they're not going to be able to help onboard everybody into doing this. And we want, as Ricochet Exchange, we want to onboard people because we know that the next thing they're going to do after they get onboarded is they're going to redirect some of their salary to buy ETH, right? That's just the thing that people do, or buy Bitcoin, or buy some kind of crypto. And, eventually there'll be a day where, the government will mandate that companies use blockchains for stocks and stuff. And so eventually we'll have a day where you can sort of stream right into, the S&P and stuff like that. And probably not even synthetic S&P, probably like actual S&P ETF. Because I think that's where sort of some things are going. So maybe not though, I don't know. But synthetic USD, synthetic S&P we could do today. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's it. What else? Is there something else I should discuss with this? No. Okay. Oh wait, we have a question. So it's a protocol to stream salary from their token to a stable. That's it. First of all, let me pause and just talk about the DAOs in generally, because when I went to MCon, I did bump into a few people that were running DAOs. And when I explained what MakerDAO was doing in Delphi Digital, people in DAOs, it clicked right away. And then as a follow-up, they said exactly what that question says, which is it's a protocol to stream salary from the native token to a stable coin, which is kind of the opposite of what we've been talking about, which is going from stablecoin to a token like ETH or whatever. But a lot of people, you're right, are getting streamed or are getting paid in, the crypto token native to that project. And so, yeah, they could do it. They could do it that way. The other thing a DAO could do is if they're, if they have a bunch of their token and they want to sell it to stable coins, they can just set up to do it periodically. So I gave the example in Discord where I can hold all Ethereum, but I can start a stream. I can start streams to other people using US dollar coin. And the way that would work is, let's say I'm paying them $1,000 per month in a stream. But what I can do is I can set up a stream to go from ETH to US dollar coin at about $1,000 a month. And then it'll go from US dollar coin out to them. That way you're holding all your Ethereum, and you have to hold some US dollar coin because there needs to be a bit of money, like a buffer of money there, so you can open the stream. But you can just hold, a DAO could just hold all Ethereum, but they could pay out their staff in US dollar coins by doing like a real-time conversion and just balancing the rates between two pools. So let's see, we have another question. How Maker would be using Ricochet, but Ricochet streams can't control time right now. You definitely can't control time. I mean, Maker uses it to pay their employees. That's how they're using Superfluid right now. So they get a stream of DAI. And what the employees can do, I'm not sure if they're doing it yet, but what they can do is that stream of DAI is an inbound stream. And so they can open an outbound stream to Ricochet, and then they can periodically, every time we do distributions, they'll get their Ethereum or whatever they're streaming into, or they'll get their Maker tokens. So it's basically a way, if you're receiving a salary, let's say $4,500 a month, and you want to direct maybe $1,000 a month toward investing in Ethereum, and you want to just dollar cost average in real time, then you can do that. And then you just redirect, you're just opening another stream. So the stream flows from the employee into Ricochet, and then Ricochet sends back Ethereum for that employee so that they're holding Ethereum instead of their dollars. And that's happening in real time. So they're getting, all the advantages of compounding. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a really good diagram that kind of shows that process on our Twitter if you want to.
Yeah, I was actually going to show. I have that open. Do you want me to show it?
Oh yeah, just go for it. Let's stop this.
You disabled screen sharing. You can just go to Docs if you want to just do it. Oh yeah.
Oh, can you do it or?
Yeah, I can do it, but you have to enable the screen share.
Oh yeah.
I think maybe I didn't log in as my correct user. All right. Yeah, so here's sort of how, the employer in this case would be MakerDAO, and the token in this case would be DAI. But you see the idea, which is the employer pays you in US dollar coin stream, and then you stream some of that or all of it to Ricochet, and then Ricochet periodically distributes back whatever token you're buying. Right. So in this example, you're basically streaming to Ricochet to buy Ethereum and wrap Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll stop my share now. So that's how these people are sort of using it.
All right.
Fees, the fee we take is 2%. So if you go into the documentation, there's a disclaimer. I should have showed it, but there's a disclaimer at the top or disclosure at the top that says it's a 2% fee, and it's taken from the output of the token. So we do the swap and then we distribute back, and of the distributed back amount, 2% of it goes to the DAO treasury, which we have set up as a multi-sig safe. So Gnosis safe. Nothing fancy.
Okay. All right. All right, so the last thing to talk about is our upcoming user interface changes. So I'm just going to share my screen once again. Well, I'll just pull over this. This is just the general wireframe for what we're planning on making our new kind of user interface look like. We're focusing on functionality here. So we've got the rows going pretty much just like how you see on Sushi, the listing of Sushi LP farms. You can basically, hit a drop down. You can start a stream. It'll show you your balances. One important metric here is just when the stream will run out. So you can see, how long your stream will last before, we have to cancel it or you liquidate. So that's an important thing to note as a streamer. Also, one potential for that is actually to allow for EPNS service, so Ethereum push notification services. Basically integrate with that and basically let you sign up and get notifications for when your stream is going to run out, so you can get warnings for that. That's kind of in the pipeline down the road. So this is just a general form. It's pretty similar to what you see on Sushi Swap, so nothing foreign here. And we're just going to have a separate page for the upgrade. So yeah, simple interface. This will allow us to really start cranking out stream markets and kind of expand our offering here. Yeah, and then this is just what the mobile kind of outlook, what the mobile wireframe looks like. So, just kind of formatted to fit in the mobile side, but nothing crazy here. Just making it a lot more functional and easier for people to use and scalable. So we do have, like we said, contractors from Upwork working on this, and we did send out our specifications, and yeah, looking forward to what comes out of this. So, anything you did?
No, I think this is good. I got a quote today from the people. I sent out this and a couple other technical notes, things I wanted to see, mostly relating to handling, adding new markets. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a timeline on when this goes out. The team typically, I think, takes about 2 weeks to do these kinds of things. So, maybe by the end of in the middle of October or something, hopefully, definitely in October, we'll have this updated user interface. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
Great. That's just say community call number 3. But everyone, thank you for coming to community call number 3. We're glad for the turnout today, and we talked about some really cool stuff. The recording will be up. Thank you for coming again, and looking forward to catching you 2 weeks from now. We have agreed on a bi-weekly cadence for these community calls. So yeah, onwards.
Any questions? We got Janelle showed up late. Do you have any questions? We answered some questions in chat. No? All right, cool.